Hi, it's Dwyer. DwyerVIP.com, GamblersAdvisory.com. Bear with me, my throat's a little sore. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Cornelius Bundage is one of boxing's more interesting champions. Few people know who he is. Right? There he is sitting in a loaded division. But yet we never really hear his name mentioned for any of the big fights. And he's hardly been fighting. He fought once in 2009. He fought once in 2010. He fought once in 2011. He fought once in 2012. And guess what? He's now going to fight Ishe Smith in defense of his title. Now, the interesting thing with Bundage is that Bundage is defensively challenged, right? There have been fights, the Joel Julio fight, where he's been hit flush, right? The first Powell fight, he's hit flush multiple times, knocked down by flush punches multiple times in the very first round. Doesn't make it out the round. But somewhere along the line, Emanuel Stewart saw something that he liked in Cornelius Bundage. He retooled a bit of Bundage's game. Now Bundage is more of an explosive fighter. Bundage literally stays outside and then jumps in with very hard, very straight punches, right? And under Stewart's tutelage, Bundage was able to KO Corey Spinks twice, pick up the title, have a rematch with Powell, and dominate Powell. If you're thinking of the Cornelius Bundage who struggled against Grady Brewer years ago and was bouncing off the canvas in other fights, understand that that guy arguably no longer exists, right? I believe that Emanuel Stewart literally has just changed Bundage's game enough where his explosive power, and it is explosive, has actually revealed itself. And as long as he doesn't stay in too long to actually engage with you, he's hard to hit flush. Ishe Smith is one of those workman type fighters who knows all the tricks. He can come in, he can tie you up. He can fight grueling fights like his fight against Powell Wolak. And he can figure out during a fight that he can land his uppercut. And he can literally, from the trenches, win that fight the hard way by slugging it out, right? By backing away from the raging bull and throwing uppercuts, getting leverage. He's a very savvy fighter. Here's the problem. He lacks that Joel Julio one-punch knockout capability. Ishe Smith has a KO percentage less than 50%. In my opinion, he doesn't hit hard enough to take advantage of K-9's suspect chin, right? That's K-9's biggest weakness. There's another problem Ishe Smith has. He's 5'10". K-9 is 5'6". Understand the shorter man in this fight has the advantage because K-9's the bigger puncher. K-9's the guy who's going to be outside and then is going to jump inside with devastating with a devastating left hook or a devastating right cross, right? That's K-9's game now, right? And all I'm saying is the height difference will make K-9 harder to find. It's also going to make it tougher to keep K-9 off of him. Think Mike Tyson. Think Joe Frazier. To get a read on what I'm talking about, look at the Bundage Powell rematch. I've put the tape of that fight on my YouTube channel page. And you're going to see that Powell simply couldn't keep an aggressive K-9 off of him. Right? The height difference allows K-9 to literally come in and smother opponents. Right? Keep in mind, if you have the punch and can track K-9 and can keep K-9 at arm's length, you have a chance to drop him. But if you don't have the punch and you can't keep K-9 off of you, then you're going to end up like Corey Spinks or Powell, on your back foot, dealing with an onslaught, unable to defend yourself. I like Cornelius Bundage in this fight. I think a 39-year-old champion is underrated. Quite frankly, I think he represents some of the late, great trainer Emanuel Stewart's best work. Right? This is a guy whose career was floundering. He meets up with Stewart. He ends up winning a world title, which he has successfully defended twice. Right? Now he's fighting Ishe Smith, a guy who doesn't have a KO punch, a guy who is a warrior but has lost in the biggest matches of his career. Right? The Danny Jacobs fight. Ishe Smith lost that match. Right? Ishe Smith has lost the biggest matches of his career. I know he's hungry. I know he's been working out at the Mayweather gym. I know he's had world-class training advice himself. I know Eddie Mustafa Muhammad at one point was his trainer. Not quite sure who it is now. So he's had world-class trainers. But without that world-class punch, against an explosive puncher like K-9, who is smart enough now not to stand right in front of you, to actually kind of like stay outside, hovering a bit, and then coming in with bombs. It's really an ambush style, right? Only he ambushes you, then he tries to stay. Against that style, I'm going with Bundage here. I like Bundage to win the fight. This fight's difficult, folks, because it really can't be hedged. If you're someone who believes in Ishe Smith in the fight, then one possible hedge would be to pick the over. Right? Bundage to win, hedged against the over. But make no mistake, I'm expecting the champion here to defend his title. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Thanks for stopping by.